And welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your hosts and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. Nicole, what are you having?
Oh, you know me. Some orange, some Tito, some cranberry juice. Mr. Nick, tell the people what you're drinking and our three things for the show.
Well, Mr. Nick is drinking some Stag's Leap Cabernet. American, all American, because it's a very special day. It's a very special occasion, Nikki. It's the 4th of July. So as for our three things, well, the Judgment Day won the World Tag Team titles. Hangman Page challenges Jon Moxley to a death match, and we discuss the biggest faction breakups of all pro wrestling history. It's Friday, July 4th, 2025, and we're celebrating Independence Day on the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
My baby want a Birkin. She's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries. The list goes on and on. This 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell him bring another round when he's let it go. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
And welcome back in, everybody. Happy Friday. If you are new here, welcome in. Smash the old like and subscribe. If you are a regular, we love having you. Got regulars already in the chat. Lisa.
Well,
All our believers. Happy 4th of July. That is right. We are celebrating the 4th of July. And Nikki, we got a lot to get to.
Through. Also, we're wearing our very patriotic Cody Rhodes shirts.
Yes. So let's kick it off. Because you asked for this, Nikki. We said it's 4th of July. We're going to kick it off a very special way. Happy 4th of July.
And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
I love that speech. You're like, I want to get something very patriotic. I was like, Bill Pullman, Independence Day. If that doesn't want you to go charging into a battle, Bill Pullman. Chef's
Yes, Lisa.
so good.
And it will not be the last appearance of that this afternoon. But yes, thank you for joining us. A very special edition of the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Special time, I should say.
You know, day drinking. Drinking.
Nice little Friday afternoon here. It's nice to have this day off. So, but Nikki, we're going to kick off the show the way we've been kicking it off the last several weeks with your favorite segment, my favorite segment, Nikki's non-kayfabe news.
Oh, my favorite. Well, speaking of Americans and all American, your hero, my hero, our beloved Chad Gable, who has been on a tear, has been on a run, and unfortunately is kind of now stopped with a shoulder injury, and he got S's kids speech class. Shoulder surgery was successful. He did that the Wednesday, but he said he'll be back quicker than you can say gracias. So shout outs to Chad Gable. That's why they writ him off last Monday, with Penta giving him the no.
Sacrifice.
I almost said Unforgiven. I was like, that's not what that's called. But yeah, so hopefully he's back, and then it's also kind of mirror, like, say with like Liv Morgan, you're finally on like this hot tear, and then all of a sudden like soldier stuff.
Yeah, no.
Well, she also had surgery, successful. She had hers done before Chad, but both successful. Hopefully back soon. I hope, because Jade, the Judgment Day, Finn Balor alluded to it. He's like, I know what this injury is like. She's gonna be out for a long time, and I was like, don't put that voodoo on them. So hopefully he does come back quick. I don't know the extent of either one of them surgeries, but I'm hope quick and speedy recovery, because I want to see Chad Gable back on our screens.
Yeah, and it's a shame because he was, like you said, he was pulling double duty at WrestleMania weekend and Worlds Collide, like a month ago. Like he's been getting a lot of work, and he's been putting everybody over. And we said this for months now. It's justice for Chad Gable in a lot of ways, and how he's going to get over. I was interested to see. We're really not going to touch on that much on what happened on Raw, because with El Grande Americano showing up, another El Grande Americano, like I would have been interested to see how Ivy Nile, my girl Ivy Nile, how she could have taken over
with her
and shown a little bit of charisma and taken, this opportunity to grow with him out. And it doesn't seem like they're going to give her that opportunity. But yeah, it's a shame, because again, he just puts on tremendous match after tremendous match.
Yeah.
And, a speedy
recovery
to Chad Gable. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later.
Yes. And then fun news, AJ Styles has not necessarily re-signed, but has extended his contract to another year. So he had said that the contract that he was signing, it was his last contract. He wants to stay in WWE. He wants to retire in WWE. The problem, I think, is he got injured earlier in 2025. And then with Cena's retirement tour, it makes kind of more sense to kind of keep AJ another year and then like be done with all the Cena stuff this year, and then have next year we have AJ's like retirement tour. Like this year Cena, next year's AJ. I would have loved, and I don't think we're gonna circle back to this, but see an AJ Cena match, because that match of them at the Royal Rumble like was really good. I think back then, obviously still does. Cena was getting a lot of shit for not being able to wrestle. Obviously still does, but him and AJ, I think AJ, not that Cena like carries. I know that's not the term I want to use here, but like they didn't leave the ring. Like it was just like a classic. So I'd like to see them run that back, but I guess maybe both of them being older, I don't know if they're going to have that match, but I think it makes more sense. Keep AJ keep AJ another year, have him do his retirement tour next year.
Yeah, and he's still putting on great matches. Look what he's doing with Dom right now. I mean, it's elevating Dom as an Intercontinental Champion once they presumably he puts over Dom. He has great matches with everybody. So, him in the upper mid card for another year can really help put over every that many English.
We can't talk
that many more.
We just
people.
Started drinking.
That many more people. Yeah, it'd be really good. Business wise. So, and everyone deserves their time in the limelight. If there's anyone who deserves it as well,
there's just the flowers.
Yeah, it's.
And
AJ
then maybe
Styles.
2027, you put him in the Hall of Fame. Because I personally, as much as we all love Rey Mysterio, I don't necessarily love that we put him in the Hall of Fame and then he's still wrestling. Because someone said, I don't know who, there was like, I'll be in the Hall of Fame when like I'm done. So I hope they'll wait. Because it'd be the thing like they put him in the Hall of, or like I guess Ric Flair had his last match, but again, Ric Flair had his 4,000 last matches. I don't know, but then I would think 27, 28, then you'd put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have to go immediately, but it depends. There's not that many big main event level names left.
Yeah.
So, he would be
people that want to be inducted.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that should, and there's probably some people that should be. That
like I know, like Tony Schiavone famously said that, like he told his family he's like I'll pass away and they'll try to posthumously induct me. He's like, don't let that happen. So I don't know. And then everything with Owen. So I'm sure there's people out there that are like,
Okay.
But I digress.
Well, Nikki, let's get to some of the comments. Just touching on some of the things.
Yes.
Lisa said El Grande Americano. Luda Kaiser's El Grande Americano. If that's the case, she's great. That's great. She loves it.
I think that's only benefits your girl because I think we didn't hear Grande talk, and if anything, you can have Chad Gable kind of speak Spanish. He can yell gracias and all that stuff. Don't think you can have Ludwig Kaiser, who has a very thick German accent.
Yeah.
Speak Spanish. I could be wrong, but I think maybe your girl will be the mouthpiece.
Justice for Ivy.
Because
for Ivy.
I like Julius, but Brutus, they just make sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll see. But Nikki, that's a wrap on this week's Nikki's non-kayfabe news. All right, Nikki, we're getting into it. So, like we said, it is 4th of July, very special day. Here, the birth of America. Hashtag America. But so we got to thinking, what would be a fun concept for this show? And you were like, oh.
And I said faction breakups because today America broke up with England. Fuck King George. We're putting your tea in the Boston. In the harbor.
Yes.
So I thought, what is a big faction breakup? Because us breaking away from UK, England, fucking George. My favorite Independence Day thing to say. I almost posted, I have 2 months, no, I guess 2 years ago, I have a picture of our cat Bailey sitting on a tablecloth that's all patriotic, and then the caption is fucking George. Which is something Bailey would say. But I digress. Do your factions.
Unbelievable.
Go fuck yourself.
That literally, if our cat could talk, then I'm pretty sure that's what she would say to everybody.
But yeah, so we got to thinking, what's your favorite faction breakup? What's your most memorable faction breakup? So we started looking back on the history, and here's a few factions or memorable breakups over the years.
Getting back together. Getting back together. You go talk to your friends, talk to my friends, talk to me. Never, ever getting back together. Getting back together.
So, Nikki, we posed the question, what's your favorite faction breakup, or what was the biggest faction breakup? And as always, start with the ladies of the show.
I'll put a pin on it because I know, to me, the one that's most famous to me that meant a lot, that still means a lot, we'll get to. But briefly, I had talked to you, I was like, oh, well, I'll go DX. And then went down the rabbit hole. And there wasn't really one, you showed the picture, but that's not the first iteration, or even that's the third or fourth iteration of DX. So this, to me, it doesn't count. So then I kind of went down the rabbit hole this morning of looking at stuff. And cast your minds back. This would be the second iteration when it's Triple H, X-Pac, New Age Outlaws, China. And China first low blows Triple H to join Vince McMahon and the corporation. And then it was then a double thing, because then Triple H pedigrees X-Pac and then joins the necessarily doesn't join them, but that's when he goes after Vince McMahon and then hooks up with Stephanie, and that becomes a thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there was a big,
Yeah, but then 4 or 5 months later, DX was back together, and that's my favorite era of all time, when it was the McMahon-Helmsley era, when they sat on couches eating charcuterie together, right? That's my favorite of all time. And then looking back, that's when X-Pac had the other Tory.
Oh yeah.
Who like came in was like Stable Stalker, and then she like was with Kane, and then she was with the X-Pac, and that was that whole iteration. And that just kind of like fizzled out. To me, looking back, like DX feels like now the Judgment Day is kind of taking that model. Like you're gonna have all these kind of people in, and they're gonna come out, and it looks like we're gonna break up, but we're gonna stay together for the kids. Because again, we thought this Judgment Day was gonna break up, and we'll get to that later in the show. But there, I don't think, as much as I love DX,
well,
again,
this version, this specific breakup of DX of the Triple H Shawn Michaels one was so impactful just because it, for me, I remember like I was like, oh, it was a win-win because either I'm getting DX back or I'm getting Shawn Michaels most likely back in the ring, which is what ended up happening. So this made me happy for a lot of reasons. There's also, you can look back and you could argue that one of the first biggest faction breakups was the Mega Powers, right? Hogan, Macho Man, and Miss Elizabeth.
You got lust in your eyes.
Yeah.
Macho Man, winner of this feud.
Oh, yeah.
You run off with my wife? Well, I guess this is his girlfriend, kayfabe wise, but... And then he's like laying his gross, sweaty head on her. No.
Not going to have it.
Not going to work for me, brother. But yeah, no, that was a big, like, oh my God, that like they were friends. And then, that's the whole tagline, that they explode.
Then you also, I put in here honorable mention because like Wade Barrett being ousted from the Nexus because the Nexus was the big thing that whole summer. And then CM Punk infiltrates the Nexus and starts the new Nexus, right? That stemmed off of that. That was
justice for Wade Barrett forever. Because I just feel like, again, that could have the biggest what if Cena actually put him over. And then hearing him on comm sometime, and he's like, "Oh, you wrestled John Cena, they're a silly little group." I'm like, "Shut up, Michael Cole. Shut up." Obviously, it worked out for him, but no, this is definitely an interesting one to put in.
But I think you and I ultimately, and I know the regulars chimed in.
I know. I can go on for this one forever.
But ultimately, we agreed that it was the Shield.
Because maybe we did do this for a breakup. Because I asked you to find the picture of Dean Ambrose's shocked face. When he was like...
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
So I guess did we do? I don't know, because we were kind of what other Hoosiers.
It's very similar idea, right, and concept. But yeah, I think ultimately this was the most shocking because no one really expected it.
Yes, because there was in feud. Hold my beer, honey. That there was an infighting, and it was Ambrose fighting Roman, and it was like Ambrose was stirring the pot. Everyone thought that Ambrose was going to turn. And because then like Seth was trying to be like, hey, like let's stay together for the kids, like all trying to be like that peacemaker. And then for it to be, plan C. And literally I was at that, what is it? What's an Extreme Rules? It was in Jersey with the place not there anymore. It was the pay-per-view after Mania. They had that 6-man match, and then the next night is when he turned. Yeah. So it's just like there's always plan C, and then it's just like then the run that Seth went on to be the man that we all know and love right now. You know how much I love my Seth Rollins. Yeah. And then it's just like again creating I was watching, all these like best factions, whatever, and they were saying like what faction, I guess maybe you can say Evolution, but really Triple H and Flair were champions before this. This is 3 basically unknown kids from maybe less Roman, but 2 indie kids and kind of like a Nepo hire come in relatively unknown and blow up as a threesome, then blow up breaking up, and then every single one of them is a world champion. All 3 of them were world champion. Yeah. All 3 of them were IC champion. All 3 of them were United States champions. All 3 of them were tag team champions. Yeah. Well, it's insane how crazy this faction is. Like the start, the rise, the fall, the comeback together, the breakups, the comebacks together. But like again, they, how Seth is crazy in the ring, Roman Reigns going on the run that he did, Ambrose becoming Mox again and carrying AEW until like right now, because I think we've turned on him. But again, this is an incredible faction that I think, again, the biggest, oh my God, we didn't think it was going to be Seth, the look on Dean's face, the run that they all went on after, I think it's the biggest thing ever.
That's right. Lisa's got a good one. Edge and Christian. Yeah, they came up with the Brood, them breaking up from the Brood from Gangrel.
Well, even them breaking. And then
they went off to, and then they went off to go, go on their own, and their huge run that they had. It's just...
like, I just love them so much. Again, like I have my.
But yeah, let us know in the chat.
Hierarchy.
Who's your favorite faction breakup of all time? Did it form a new faction? Did it lead to just an independent, their independence of somebody?
I think it also going back to
because like Evolution, right? Like you look back on Evolution.
Iconic.
Yeah, like that was Orton.
They both did
Orton.
it.
Yeah, that was Orton's moment to ascend to the main event roster. So I mean, other elements, right? Like I talked about the Punk thing, the new next, it spawns off new groups and things of that nature. So it's just interesting.
And you showed the Judgment Day when when Finn turned on Priest, but also them originally turning on Edge was huge because he was trying to make it all spoopy. And I feel like once he kind of got kicked out, I feel like that's when they became cool. Then they were kind of like this club, and they were like with their leather, and they're in their clubhouse. And I think it just became like cooler than, Edge tried to make it like he was cutting those promos with the hanging candles and the schmog, and it's just like, no, just have them be like, Rhea Ripley's a badass. Like, don't make her spoopy. Like, let her just kick butt. And then her, tempting Dom to the dark side and maybe turning him into the superstar that he is now. Like, I think really Edge leaving that faction was the best thing to happen to it. And then honestly, Priest and Rhea kind of leaving, and them still doing like the Judgment Day thing. Like, I hate their new music again. We'll get there. But like, I think that's maybe even more than him turning on Priest. I think them kicking Edge out turned their trajectory so crazy to like the kind of big faction that they are now. Yeah, no,
great point. So I don't know. Let us know in the chat what your favorite faction breakup was. Or you could call in links there. Do a little call in later. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Nikki, so we move along into our AEW Dynamite 300.
It's so insane.
Yeah, their 300th episode of Dynamite on Wednesday night. If you missed it, we'll get you caught up on some of the highlights.
The Elite, give me all of the Death Riders. John Moxley, you give me everything, or you give me death, and make this a Texas.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. This is my last resort. Cut my life into pieces. I've reached my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong? Would it be right? And if I took my life tonight, chances are that I might mutilation out of sight and contemplate the suicide. 'Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine.
I know I've been crapping on AEW probably the past 2 months, and I want to be the positive one of all the boats and all the ships. This episode, maybe because it was 300, maybe it was the Hangman up front, but like, I was like, this got me excited for the pay-per-view next week. I was like, we're back. This felt like this was a good Dynamite that reeled me back in, and good Lord, Hangman and a Page, do I not love they? He ain't coming out hot as hell. We'll
get to that.
Oh, you want me to, we're not starting with that?
Well, you know what?
Okay.
No,
please.
Let's start with it. Nikki,
my contribution was faction today, so.
We're kicking it off with Hangman Adam Page confronting.
Did you change that?
What?
No, because I started talking about Hangman Page, and you're like, well, wait.
No. Yeah.
I'm very
challenging Mox at All In, and he's raising the stakes.
Give me the Elite. Give me all of the Death Riders. John Moxley, you give me everything, or you give me death, and make this a Texas death match.
Oh, watch your back, Hangman. Oh, God. Hangman, he doesn't realize it. He can't hear it over this crowd. Oh, Hangman intercepts the briefcase.
You said that I didn't have what it took for Texas death, and you know that's a lie, right? You know that's a lie. But in case you needed a reminder that I'd do anything that it takes.
Oh, no.
This one, and they cut to Yuta after this, and Yuta's like, ah!
So Hangman takes out Marina Shafir, so there's one less, presumably, member of
I'm sure she'll be fine by next Saturday.
Well,
She used to fight MMA. I think she'll be okay. Of all the women to take a box shot, I think she's gonna be okay.
I don't know. It's a lethal move. It is.
It is a good move. I forgot you had a video of his thing, so apologies again, production meeting. But him just coming up fired up, like, I'm ready, give me death. Basically, I want it all. I know your people are gonna come out anyway, so let's just do this. And then Mox's response, confuses me. So I don't know if he's just downplaying it to goad Hangman, but he's like, you don't want this. You don't want a Texas death match. You can't handle a Texas death match. They had the two of them had a Texas death match in 2023 at Revolution. Hangman won. Tapped him out. It's the first time that Moxley tapped in AEW. And he's like, you can't handle a death match. It's like, he had one 10 years ago. So it's just
how quickly we forget.
Exactly. And then for Hangman to come out with the fork, because that was Moxley's big thing, was having the fork. I love the little call. I was like, is this storytelling from, Tony? But it's just like, I don't know. So his response kind of confused me. He's like, you can't handle the truth. And then it was just like, oh, you think I can't? And it's like, this is how serious I am. And he takes out Marina.
Right. Yeah.
And then obviously with the matches that he had with Swerve that were like, oh God, I'm real worried about how gross this match is going to be. Because I feel like two of them don't give a flip.
He might as well just come out bleeding, because there's not there. Yeah, this is going to be insanity. But I like the idea that, during this promo, he gets actually, I didn't do it in the cut up, but like the ops come to help him, support him. So presumably that's going to be,
yes,
the group that's going to help offset what's going on, because he's got the Elite and he's got the Death Riders, so it's probably
so first
4 people.
Claudio and Yuta came out, and then the ops came out, which is Samoa Joe, Hobbs, Shibata.
Yes.
So it's kind of like the 3-on-3, and then I don't know if Willow would get back involved to kind of take out Marina, but obviously Hangman doesn't care. He'll take out Marina. She took it like a champ.
Yeah, no, this match has been, the build up for this has been really well done, and I think it's getting to that point. And we're doing this show next week, so
so next Friday we're probably not going to talk about it, but we'll have our
next Saturday. I think the pre-show, so pre AEW. So I think I have it set for 5:00. But it'll probably be early. Probably like 4. I think we do 4.
There's next weekend is bananas.
Yeah, but it'll be 4 or 5 o'clock next weekend, so stay tuned for that. But we'll have that announced by next Friday's show.
But I also think it was interesting when Mox was talking back to Hangman, the crowd was chanting, "Shut the fuck up." Like I feel like it was such a thing when he debuted. We talked about his debut, doing the paradigm shift to Omega and all the casino chips. Like, couldn't wait for him to be here. And he's like, Tony's like, break it in case of emergency, bring Mox back. I think we're at the point, I don't want to compare him to Jericho remotely, but I think we might be at a point like Moxley needs to go away for a little bit.
Well, he's supposed to. He just kept.
Every time he was supposed to go away, something happened, and CM Punk left, and there's 2 shots at WWE this week. He's like, people say they're best in the world, but that's he's like baby, not baby bullshit, but he's like, that's
basic bitch.
Basic bitch. And I was like, oh. But I think it's time for Mox to. Hangman needs to win the belt. Mox needs to go away for a little bit, but we'll get to that next week with our predictions. But good opening segment. Hangman forever.
So, other takeaways from the night. Again, this was the card on the evening. The main event ended up being Ibushi and Okada. Anything in particular, Nikki, you want to start with? I'll run down the card. Main event, again, as advertised, was Kota Ibushi against Kazuchika Okada. We had Mercedes Moné and Mina Shirakawa for the TBS Championship. Brody King, MJF, Anthony Bowens, and AR Fox in a fatal 4-way for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at All In. We also had Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, who were teaming together because they were trying to oust
the step, yeah.
So that was the Young Bucks from Power, and then Paragon and Bandito teamed together against Takeshita and the Bucks. So, any particular takeaways that you want to?
Well, I guess briefly, because in your beautiful video showed the picture of Brody King choking out MJF in the MJF face, which is now Brody King's Twitter X profile picture. Brody King forever. Push that man. I want him to have all the things. But of course, it made MJF
ends up on top. So that's another thing. He's gaining momentum.
Yeah, with his MVP cosplay.
So MJF is gaining momentum as he moves towards All In, and it's gonna be interesting with that Casino Gauntlet battle.
I think he's gonna win it. That's sort of his thing.
I mean, how do you like how he's blended in with?
I get it, but I don't love it. I'm like, you came back, you did this thing, you're a lone wolf, and then you cut that great promo when he was sitting down, like bloody, whatever match it was, like in the car park, and then he's like, I'm coming for Mox, and now he's just like begging to be in the Hurt Syndicate. I said Syndicate this time. I love his funny little cosplay being MVP. Again, his onesie last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess now. It's whatever. I think right now, I guess it's good to keep MJF away from the title scene right now.
Yeah.
Because Hangman needs to win that belt, and I necessarily don't want to circle back to MJF Hangman already, because when he came back, he was kind of goading Hangman.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
So I'm okay with it. It's not my favorite, but I don't think there's a spot necessarily right now for him in the main event. So just have him be the, shit talking mid card.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like eventually, I'm sure he'll have the match with Big Bob.
Yeah, I agree. And then moving along, so we talked about it earlier, Swerve and Ospreay, they're doubling down against the Bucks. Yeah. So now the stipulation after, spoiler alert, they did get the win in their tag match earlier in the night against, against Jalisco and Beast Meritos.
Yes, because now Beast Meritos is getting the push of his life.
Yeah, exactly. More ways than one. Good for him.
Get it, girl.
So after their victory, or before, they basically double down on raising the stakes, and now if they lose to the Bucks, they cannot, neither Swerve nor Will Ospreay can challenge for the world title for the next year.
Yeah, because last week they said they're going to challenge them if they win. Then if Swerve and Ospreay win, then the Bucks are not the kayfabe EVPs anymore. So this week, to counteract, the Bucks were like, we'll put that online, but if we win, then you can't challenge for the world belt for a year. Which didn't really work well when they did it with Cody. I said that last week, I believe. or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was brought up.
Well, his deal was never challenged for it again,
Yeah,
which was dumb.
which was dumb.
A year, at least you can just wait out and find something to write. But yeah,
Which I think
And I'm back after technical difficulties. Everyone's still there. I don't know if you can all hear me or whatnot. We had internet cut it out, so bear with us on our technical difficulties here.
On the line. Love isn't always on time. Oh, oh, oh. On the line. Love isn't always on time. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, a lot of technical difficulties going on here today in Jersey. Happy 4th of July, though, everybody. Hope you're doing well. See if we can catch up on some of the comments. Lisa saying we froze. Yeah, Lisa, it's been a rough couple minutes. Take that off. I know we stopped on AEW, so try and reel it back in here as Nikki tries to get everything together. And I think, see here. Let's see. We're on. There we go.
Am I here?
We did it.
Can you see me? Lisa, thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know if you saw, the lights were like flickering, and then all of a sudden we went out.
It was like the Undertaker was here. It's a very, very, very.
Yeah, I don't know. We lost power last night. Bunch of branches down around our house. I'm sure to see in the summer.
Exactly.
But I hope you guys are back with us. You can hear us, see us. I guess that's a sign.
Thanks for hanging with us.
I feel like that was a sign. They're like, stop talking about AEW. Your regulars don't care.
Yeah. So well, moving on. We're gonna try and pick it up where we left off. Monday Night Raw, Nikki. We go to our Raw takeaways. We're back. Awesome.
Yay! Moving on to Raw.
So on to our Monday Night Raw takeaways. Nikki, we open with the ladies.
The ladies.
And IYO Sky gets to call her shot at Evolution.
Well, I feel like she gets to pick her opponent. She has the belt. Someone has to go after her.
Yeah. But she gets to pick her opponent, and she's choosing Rhea.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce told me that I can choose who to defend the Women's World Championship against at Evolution. And I want to defend against the best. And that means defending against Rhea Ripley.
I just want you to know that what happens at Evolution, that's what you wanted. So at Evolution, Rhea Ripley versus IYO Sky for the Women's World Championship. You're on.
So, Nikki, what are your thoughts on IYO?
I love them both so much. I honestly did not like this promo. If we were doing a drinking game and doing a shot every time one of them said Evolution, we'd be on the floor. You don't have to say the pay-per-view name in every single sentence. I thought we moved away from that. Like, I found this, I don't know. I didn't love it. And I just feel like it should have been, I don't know, Rhea challenging IYO. I get like, she was like, Adam Pearce made me pick because like we are rushing to book this card, which I have feelings about it. Apparently people, if you believe the sheets, apparently people are not happy, or the women of the talent are not happy how this is being rush booked, how they were going in one direction and apparently had to throw it out the window because of Liv. But that was one match out of what, a 6 match card? And that's one match. And then it just feels like also people were complaining that
I don't think Liv would have done double duty.
No, it was supposed to be it was either going to be her and Nikki, or it's going to be the Bellas versus Liv and Raquel for the belts. But again, you still have other matches. Like, this just feels very rushed. And apparently it's next week is you have Great American Bash, the NXT show. You have Saturday Night's Main Event. You have Evolution, and have All in Texas. And then apparently across the street from the venue of Evolution is a Beyonce concert. They're like, this was not smart booking to book this. What we've been clamoring for 7 years was for another Evolution. And you just jam it.
Ram it.
I know. I'm trying.
It.
You're shoving it into this spot just to kind of give a fuck you to AEW, but you're kind of like, I guess it's because I don't know. It's not the right place for this pay-per-view to be, and I feel like the card is kind of suffering. And I agree with Lisa. I think this is going to be a fun match. Again, Rhea has never beat Io. I just don't necessarily love the way we took to get here.
Yeah,
because it was just like Adam Pearce is letting me pick. Like, I don't know. I feel like there should have been something to get a title match shot. I don't know. I could be nitpicking here, but again, I love the two of them. I want more for the two of them. I don't know. I just wish we got here in a better way. Again, it's going to be an incredible match. I just wish we took a different way to get there.
Yeah. No. I think it's going to be it's going to be an interesting match. I think I agree with you. Io needs to win.
I think Io again.
And you especially have Asuka waiting potentially, Kairi if you want to use that.
But also the other match that was announced is going to be a women's battle royal, and whoever wins the battle royal gets the title shot at Paris. So we're already booking post SummerSlam here. And then apparently the betting favorite right now is my Stephanie Vicaire. So do I get the Stephanie Io match that I wanted at SummerSlam in Paris?
Yeah. We'll see. So, Nikki, we move along chronologically in the night because now we have new World Tag Team Champions. The Judgment Day is back on top.
Out and down the highway, going to a show, stopping all the byways, playing rock and roll, getting robbed, getting stoned, getting beat up, broken bones, getting had, getting took. I tell you, man, harder than it looks, and it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Nikki, what are your thoughts on the Judgment Day winning the World
I
Tag
love
Team
it.
titles?
Shout out to my hot Irishmans on the screen right now. It was
I know. On the day we honor America, 2 Irishmen with the World Tag Team titles.
but they look good. Well, starting off, I don't like their new entrance music. I'm like, what's the names again? Def Rebel has to fucking go because the shitty rap music for every single entrance is annoying. There's nothing wrong with the old, because they redid, like they mixed the Judgment Day music with the old Finn Balor music that he was coming out to. That was fine. Stick to that. I don't know. Like, they literally came out and I was like, who is this? And I had to wait for their logo to pop up. And I was like, oh, this is weird new Judgment Day music. But I digress. But when they, Alicia Taylor, like announced both teams, and like Judgment Day got nothing. And at the end, that whole front section stood up and did 1, 2, 3 and lost their bananas. I think this match was so good, so fun. I think sometimes I forget how good at wrestling Xavier Woods actually is, because I know he's like, he was always the mouthpiece. He was always running around with Francesca, but like him and like, again, I'm always going to pop for a Spanish Fly, but that was just so beautiful of just like, whoop. Like sometimes and they did the, it's not the big, it's the Midnight Hour. They hit that and I was like, oh my God, that was like a Big E thing. But I don't know. I just think this was, you do have a photo of it. Again, I feel like you forget how good these two teams actually are. Because again, there's so much more of like the backstage stuff. And like, again, last week when they were like, match. And they're just like so funny. And then all the Judgment day segments, like it was like, oh, they're actually really good in the ring, which is crazy to say, but I actually I really love JD McDonough and him having a belt back on. I'm justice for him for puncturing a lung and still finishing a goddamn match.
And he came out looking the best.
Again, honestly, I forget, like, the ending when he did the moonsault and then JD, I keep calling Balor came and hit the good, and it was just like a beautiful, and I was just like, oh my God, do I like that?
Yeah, no, it works really well. Putting them together and actually having them all now with all the
gold, yeah.
It works really nicely. I think they need it at the time being, rather than, I think they were going towards Balor leaving the group, but now it's all right, keep him in it and keep the group going.
Yeah.
And see how much further you can elevate everybody. And specifically, I think Dom is the one in this.
Yeah.
Go the furthest. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. And this storyline with Liv out for the foreseeable future can keep going now with them as champions, because each one of them has a title.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can keep going, at least presumably, theoretically, for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
And have each one of them progressively lose, and then eventually, so it keeps the group going that long, and that gives enough time for Liv Morgan presumably to come back.
And honestly, if Liv didn't get injured, I think they would have broke up. I think Finn would have left. I think there would have been something. But now, because Finn was planting the seeds of getting Liv out. So now that Liv's out, he's like, when they took later in the night, when they took the vote for Roxanne to, be the tag partner with Raquel, it was like, Liv's gonna love this. Liv's gonna love this. So he's just like
yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be like this, but it kind of feeds into the story of like, oh, she's gone, so Finn's just gonna run everything now. He's like, he finally got rid of Priest, finally got rid of Rhea. Now, then Liv came in and tried to be like the leader. Now she's out. Now he feels like, I'm truly the leader now.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Then the other thing is too with JD winning, right? They're the winners, but now the New Day are the losers. So, what are your thoughts on the New Day's title reign?
I think it's just, oh my God.
I know, I love it.
Kofi Kingston right now. You know how I feel about facial hair, and now his eyes look crazy pants. I can't. It's really uncomfortable.
You're really not looking at it.
I'm really not. It's really making me upset. You know how I am with facial hair, and then his eyes looking crazy like that. It was really upsetting to my life. I don't know what number ring it was, and I feel like it was just to get them the win at Mania, just for them to have like a Mania thing. I don't know. Was it
this moment?
It's so upsetting
this moment,
to me.
This epic.
So
hold on, look. This epic moment.
So upsetting to me.
Hold on.
Because I can see.
Unbelievable, but yeah, just to get them another moment.
Kind of cement their heel turn. Like, I don't really know.
I really am surprised that Big E never came back in this whole situation.
Because I'm trying to think back, because they called it out specifically that they did the midnight hour. Have they been doing that lately, or do you think this is going to lead to something because they did the midnight hour? Because they kicked out of it because it was like the extra stomp on the big ending. So I wonder if, I don't know, I really just kind of I don't want him to risk anything. Thank you, Lisa.
What do you mean? This is not torture.
So upsetting. That's upset. Write in the comments below how this picture of Kofi Kingston upsets your life. Like, it does mine. I can okay, because I'm looking at this side and I can see that there's the WrestleMania Tron. Again, it's just I don't know where they're going with this. I loved how they were like, oh, that match, but I don't know why Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods is dressing like a pimp backstage. I don't know why he has sort of his hair like Razor Ramon, but doing the Jeff Jarrett strut. And then Corey made the comment. He's like, oh, this is made popular by him. No one else ever tried like that. So, love Corey Graves immensely, but I don't really know what the New Day's thing is right now. They feel like all over the place.
Yeah, They really are.
And then like they're
we thought they were
flirting,
breaking up, but now
flirting with Grayson Waller backstage.
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where this goes for them.
It'll be interesting, but we'll see. And then ultimately, Nikki getting to our main event or our main topic, or not main topic, I guess the main topic of Raw, I should say. Seth Rollins is Raw's most wanted man because he comes out and after Gunther cuts a pretty good promo about ending Goldberg, he basically claims that, you know, I'm coming for you whenever I want.
Yeah.
And with his new, which
I love it. God, I just love everything about Seth Rollins.
Yeah. They his newly minted, that thing will sell. That briefcase would definitely sell. Like people buy everything merch wise, that briefcase would sell. Hey Mikey's chiming in about a new day. Fumbled so bad this time. Xavier's promos on TikTok are so much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he has the personality charisma. Again, if you watch Up Up Down Down, all the stuff on there, like he has more of a personality or gets to show more of his personality on there than he gets to show on the show. But again, you just see there's so much like, I don't know if they're in this new like Easter egg hunt game that it's like, no, you just have to see what's happening in the background with everything. I feel like before you were just looking for Bray Wyatt or you were looking for like Uncle Howdy stuff or like a puppet popping up. And now you got to see who's talking to each other in the background. Yeah. And it's always like, what's an Xavier talking to Grayson or doing something in the background? He's got like a pimp hat on. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see. But what's not in the background in the foreground is Seth Rollins basically chasing down everybody. So he said it's an all-out assault on both world titles and basically alludes that he is coming for Gunther at some point in time or Goldberg, whoever the victor is. And that's when Punk shows up. And basically the Alliance has created so many enemies on Raw and on SmackDown that there's really nowhere to hide because Rollins keeps fighting himself off, fights his way into the crowd, runs away, and he finds LA Knight, who chases him off as we go into the main event, which was Braun.
It's just so, thank you, CM Punk, for donating them the Brawns because it throws me off every time we talk about them because they're, you know, both Braun.
Yes.
But Braun is actually Bronson in real life, so it's Braun is going to be the new thing.
So ultimately, Bronson and Braun Breaker take out Penta and Sami Zayn. They do get the victory, and as they're going to do a little bit more damage, ultimately, Jey Uso shows up, and we start to see what's been happening is the Raw rosters coming together to fight against the Alliance. So I guess my question as we put a wrap and a bow on Raw is, and we've talked about this previously, is there going to be another member of the Alliance? Because there's so many people on Raw now.
Oh my gosh.
Like you have Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Penta, LA Knight, CM Punk. Am I missing... Ray Phoenix? No, Ray Phoenix doesn't really. No.
Well, he's technically on SmackDown, but again,
did they take out Phoenix too?
I don't think so.
But I feel like right there, I counted 5 at the very least, just on Raw. It just happened.
Because apparently the thing is that they're moving LA Knight to Raw even before the draft that's supposed to be after SummerSlam.
Right. So again, the Raw, regardless, the whole roster's coming together against the Alliance. So my question is, do you see, because of the fact that there's so many people and they're banding together so early on this, do you see someone else maybe coming to the aid of the Alliance and maybe there's going to be more?
I'm going to backtrack a 1,000 times, but I don't know. I haven't really thought about this. I guess we did talk about it, but
because I'm just saying the way.
Because again, if you have 4 right now, it would be 4 and 4. No, I guess it would be because there's 3. No, I guess there's 3.
There's 3.
So then you have a 3-on-3. Because if it's Seth the Braun,
but you still also have LA Knight.
Yeah. So then, do you think then like maybe either Ricky or
and depending on where CM Punk falls on us?
Yeah. So then bring Ricky up because Ricky and Seth, I think, is much better.
Yeah, I just feel like there's going to be something. There's with the roster coming together, there has to be something else. Chris is chiming in. Austin Theory's prediction for the Alliance. And another member breaks away from Grayson Waller. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, because it gets him away from Grayson. Although a lot of people think he was going face.
I'd rather switch it. I like Grayson Waller so much more than Austin Theory. I feel like Vince McMahon kind of ruined Austin Theory, and that terrible match with Cena, that program with Cena, I think destroyed Austin Theory for me, to be honest. But maybe Heyman can bring him back, because really, like, that promo that Cena cut on Theory before that Mania tore him to pieces. And he's like, basically he said, win or lose, this is going to do nothing for you. And it did nothing for him. So I'd rather see Ricky Saints from NXT, or you said Ethan Page from NXT. I said Tony D'Angelo from NXT. I'd rather see like a becoming NXT kid than maybe someone already on the roster. But I do like Grayson Waller. Maybe it could be Theory, because Theory was with Seth during the pandemic when he was the Monday Night Messiah.
Right. So that, yeah.
And then
it works nicely.
Then after that broke up, he went back down to NXT, and he was in the way, and it was a more comedy character, being with Gargano and all that.
So I don't know. We'll see. Let us know in the chat below who you want to see, or if you think it's just going to be they're going to keep the group together the same way. I don't know. But I have the inkling that with the roster coming together the way it is, that there's going to be a little bit more added to this. So, but we'll see.
But those were infused. When I was looking at Mikey's comment before that, again, there was so many things going on before that. Like, they're planning too many pay-per-views. You're booking the NXT show, you're booking Saturday Night's Main Event, then you're booking Evolution, you're booking SummerSlam, and then we're already booking Paris. And then it's just like, let's calm down. I agree, Mikey said pump the brakes, and I was like, yes, because it's too much going on. And again, like, when they announced that it's Seth LA Knight at Saturday's Main Event, I was like, wow, like, it should be maybe Braun LA, because those were the ones that were costing each other. Why is it all of a sudden Seth? As much as it would be a fun match, as much as I love Seth, like, I don't think that needs to be a match. I think it's too, I think, again, we talked about, like, you have to kind of go through the lack of a better word, lackeys to get up to the head honcho. Like, this should be a Bronson or a Braun match before we get to him and Seth. And also going back, because you just went into the match, I don't like at the end of the beginning segment when Walter Gunther cut a promo, then Seth came out, then Punk came out, and then Punk pushed over Gunther, and then Gunther just like fell over really dramatically, and I did not like that. I don't know if it's me, but I didn't like that. Like, Punk pushed him, and he like such a back bump. I'm like, if he made it, I just fall over into like I don't know. I did not love that. But again, I feel like I'm being really nitpicky today. But
you didn't love it. You
hated it.
But yes, we'll see. Crispy saying maybe eventually Sami Zayn turning or Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross would be great.
Karrion Kross would be interesting.
Karrion Kross with Scarlett, and then have Becky join. You have two power couples in a group.
You know, I love my wrestling couples. That would be interesting. I'm into, because now, again, the rumors that Karrion's contract is up in August, but people are confident he's going to resign. But like, I don't want them to do what they did to Gable. Was it a year or two ago that like Gable's contract was coming up, so that he had those like he had all those Gunther matches, and he had like, was it Clash at the Castle or Clash at somewhere, or I think one of the UK pay-per-views that he fought Gunther, and then he re-signed, and they kind of did nothing with him for a while, and I feel like he kind of got his mojo back with this, and then he's injured again. I don't want him to be like, get this little push, he re-signs, and then does nothing again.
That's fair. So Nikki, before we get our SmackDown preview, I put the call-in link in the chat. We can tee up some callers if you want to call in, let us know what you're drinking, what you're thinking here on the 4th of July. But let's get to tonight. Again, they already pre-taped it, but we're not doing spoilers, so we'll touch on what's on the card for SmackDown for tonight. Nikki, we're going to get some sort of... addressing of the new bloodline with Talatonga.
Yeah.
Hikuleo, aka Hikuleo, and Solo's new group. So, as we lead into SmackDown, what do you think is going to happen?
I said in our recap from Night of Champions, I think he should open the show, cut a promo, be a smarmy little thing, and then have Jacob come out and try to fight everybody. I think that's how you open the show. It was your new champion. I rightfully predicted. But I think, as much as we all love Jacob, I think Solo needed this more, and this is the Solo that they wanted a year ago, and he's finally there. Let him cut the promos that he's been cutting. I think that's how you open.
I would love if they did the what they've been doing, like I said, like the backstage.
Oh, him in
he's in like
the family
room.
table.
Yeah, the family table, and he's in the room, and it's like his room. I would absolutely love that. I think that would go over really well. And just he just looks super strong.
Yeah, because then you'd have obviously Tungaloa's back, and then you have the new one. I'm really waiting for Tama to be back to have the whole family back together. But I think maybe it is a sit down thing that he can just cut the promo to introduce, who he is, what he is to, because JC we thought was the enforcer, now is Tall is supposed to be the new enforcer. Like, what's the dynamics of the group? So maybe that will be just a vignette backstage. I don't know.
We'll see. Also, we got Tiffany Stratton gets to choose her opponent for Evolution. Who do you think she's going to choose?
Because I know who I spoiled that for myself, so I don't really want to say anything. But I'm going to reiterate how I feel about how it was with EO. That, like, I don't necessarily love that they just pick their person. I want it to be like you earn something to get to the champion. Her pick doesn't make sense to me. But I guess we could talk about that next week. Is it going to be fun? Yeah. Do I?
Well, one person I know it's not going to be is Jade Cargill. So Jade is going to make her appearance as well, and she begins her road towards SummerSlam and her build-up. And we've got high expectations, right? Like, she's the number one contender for the with the women's world titles or with the WWE Championship. So, like, you have to now turn a corner and start producing matches and segments that people want to watch if you're going to carry the brand as a champion and present yourself as such. So it's going to be interesting to see now what the next month leads for her.
I'm going to have to play devil avocado with you because I don't think, because you're like, expectations are high. I'm like, I don't think they're that high. I think it's going to be her and Tiffy at SummerSlam, and Naomi's coming with that briefcase. I don't think Jade is walking out as champion.
They open SummerSlam with that? One of the nights, the cash in? But she needs to present herself strong, and she has to look good because you're still in the match for the world title or any.
I'm not because she always looks good. She has the presence about her. She has the look about her. Like, her entrances are great. Her costumes are fantastic. But again, we had this conversation last week that I'm just like, have her do the moveset that her body type is meant for. That's what I say about Roxanne. Roxanne is tiny. Have her wrestle like a tiny person. Jade Cargill's big. Have her wrestle like a big lady. Have her do the power bombs and the big things and stick to that. But I don't know. Girls still need some more seasons.
Well, someone who knows how to wrestle really well is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be on the show again tonight, so he begins his build up towards SummerSlam. What do you expect? Anything from Cody Rhodes tonight?
Again, what do you want to talk about? I love that he apparently in an interview he addressed that everyone shit on the main event of WrestleMania. That he said he's putting that on his shoulders and he's going to make sure that the SummerSlam match is basically better. I'm like, well, not a high bar because that match was talk shit and bullshit and all the things in between. But he'll do is like he wants the ball back. He's gonna be the quarterback and he's gonna give his rah-rah speech. And I feel like really condescending. I'm like we're both wearing Cody Rhodes shirts right now. I adore Cody Rhodes immensely, but I don't know. It's just if really that match needs to be better than
you're upsetting Cody Rhodes.
Go fuck yourself.
Whoa. Okay. But I mean, like, it's not a Cody thing. It's just like how they booked that thing. And I want, again, if it's going to be a double turn, I would fucking love it. Turn, Cena face, Cody. We get a little Homelander Cody Rhodes. I'm not mad at it.
It's coming. That is
again, coming. It's like, I think, were we talking about this last week, or was our Night of Champions thing that, like, or was it upstairs when we were watching?
Yeah, our last week's Night of Champions recap about how he was wrestling as a heel.
Yeah, so I'm like, when's the last time we had the double turn? Is Bret Austin the last, like, legit double turn that everybody talks about? Do it again.
Yeah, so, I don't know. We'll see. But, Nikki, we got a lot to get to here. We got the phone lines open. We got a barbecue to run. I got to grill, some food. So, let me put the link once again here in the chat. Call in. It takes you right to StreamYard. Let us know what you're drinking, what you're thinking here on 4th of July, here in America's Day of Independence. What is the greatest faction breakup of all time? You want to talk about that? Talk about Raw this week, Judgment Day.
Fucking George.
King George?
Oh, no.
But, Nikki.
Are
you frozen?
Yeah, no, I was just, you are being crazy right now.
Yeah.
You're like a green forest.
Nikki's freezing. But in the meantime, since Nikki's freezing, and I'm not, I can have her hit the snare. Oh, now I'm frozen.
Oh, no.
We're all freezing.
Isn't he like just playing the drums?
All right, Nikki, we got a regular on the line. He resides from around where this beautiful Stag's Leap Cabernet is from. California. I have to change the intro, but he brings the sex appeal to the show. Let's welcome him in from the Biconic Wrestling Podcast, Mikey.
Boys, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, be Biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
Mikey!
I never get tired of that entrance.
Because Mike, I have a 2-point, probably next year when they revamp all the intros, I have the next iteration of the songs.
Oh boy.
Stevens will never change that. Stevens will always stay the same.
Love that. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for having me here today. I appreciate it.
Of course.
We always appreciate you coming in, Mikey. So happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Yes. Yeah, you're getting me at my desk because I decided to call in and I'm working on some stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of having a love-hate relationship with WWE right now, but it is what it is at this point. And my biggest issue, and I kind of put it into the chat earlier, is that WWE, I love you, but we are about to repeat 2010's WWE. I was like, why are we doing a pay-per-view a month? I thought we were going to try to like pull it back a little bit, but now I'm just like,
yeah,
I love y'all, but you're doing too much. And when you do, in my opinion, when you're trying to, let's be all the way 100. As soon as, and Nick, you were there when we had this discussion during our WWE review. When I saw that graphic officially confirmed for Goldberg versus Gunther at Saturday night's main event, I was like, you just made my job easier. We're going to watch All in Texas instead. I'm just like, if you're going to counter program, you got to give me matches that are at least interesting. Now, do I think Seth in LA will be fun? Yes. I'm also spoiled of what's going down tonight on SmackDown, but I'm not going to say nothing about that. But you got to give me stuff that I'm going to want to tune in for. And I will support WWE because I think the talent there is amazing, both on the main roster and in NXT. Also, Evolve has a lot of up-and-comers too from the independents. I think are going to be a lot of fun whenever or if WWE decides to sign them. But it's just a lot of wrestling, and I need everybody to pump their brakes a little bit. I'm like, pump the brakes, WWE. Y'all are doing too much, and it's definitely showing. You're competing with All in Texas on Saturday, and while it doesn't necessarily have anything, the women of WWE have to compete with a Beyonce concert across the street from the venue, which is kind of crazy. I'm just like, that's the other thing, too, that's kind of grinding my gears this whole week. I was just like, I think the matches are going to be fun at Evolution, but I feel like WWE has kind of done a disservice to our women's roster with how the build has been built to it. And I'm just like, you don't utilize your women's talent now. Like, IYO hasn't defended his title since Mania, and now you're going to have her in Rhea fight? It's going to be a banger, but how come IYO has been missing from my screen for the last, like, month and a half or so?
That's right. She hasn't defended the title since WrestleMania.
Nope. This will be the first title defense, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I would be very... It's a disservice to both of these women if IYO loses this first title defense since retaining it at Mania. I'm like, don't do this to IYO, please.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah. It's like I love both of them, but like I don't love how we got to this match. It's like, oh, I get to pick, I pick you, let's do the thing. Don't love that. And I don't want to see either of them lose, but like IYO should not lose at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about, how the women are, like, for example, I'm like, where has Julia been? It's been like 2.5 weeks since we've seen Julia. I'm just like, but prior to going to Saudi, I mean, she was on Saudi, but leading into her match with Zelina, she was not on TV. We didn't get no promos from her. I'm like, what are we doing, you guys?
we didn't even talk about that. That she won the title. I should have put that in the intro. Yeah, she won the.
But like out of nowhere, she wasn't on TV.
She wasn't on TV and she won, and I think she's going to be fun as champion. I love Julia, but it's a disservice for Julia because we didn't get her leading into that match, and then poor Zelina got the short end of the stick because we didn't do much with her either. And I was just like, y'all didn't give her a good title reign. I was like, I already knew Zelina was going to be a transitional champ, but you could have made something fun about it, but we just got rematches with Chelsea, and that was it.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So then, what was the point of taking the belt off Chelsea?
They weren't the best of matches. I want more for that whole SmackDown Women's U.S. division.
Right? At least we finally got something together for the Women's Intercontinental on Raw. It only took us a couple months to get there, but we got there. I will say this. I don't blame anybody. I think Lyra had a really fun run, at least from what we got. And I will say this all the time. I always see Lyra having to fight the crowd to be behind her, but she always manages to get the crowd to be behind her by the end of the match. And I still hold that her and Becky's match at Money in the Bank was probably my favorite of everything that I saw live that whole entire Saturday. So I just want more for the women. That's my big talking point for today. The women in WWE, well, just in any promotion right now, and kind of going back to this ties into what I'm talking about with the women and everything else too. There's just way too much crossover because, like, being the TNA correspondent to fill y'all in, Evolution is coming up next Sunday on the 13th. We know Jordan Grace is fighting JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. Last night on TNA, they announced that Slammiversary for TNA, which is one of their big fours, coming up the week after on the 20th. The women's champion of TNA will be going up against the winner of Jordan and JC, which I'm like, okay, cool. NXT TNA's got a working relationships, so it should be fun. What worries me is what came next because at Slammiversary, Masha will be fighting either Jordan or JC, and it's going to be title for title, winner take all. So I'm like, we are either go. My hope is that Masha walks away with both titles because then you can bring her to NXT and have her fight some of the NXT girls. My worry is that JC walks out of Evolution, JC beats Masha, and JC ends up becoming TNA and NXT Women's Champion. I'm like, I don't really like that. No hate against JC, but I feel like it's a lose-lose because JC versus Masha will be okay. I think JC has improved a lot, but you're going to have to make me really believe something crazy needs to happen for her to beat Masha.
What if the plan, though, Mikey, is because isn't
for Jordan? I would think
Blake. What's she called? Blake, not
Blake
Davenport.
Monroe.
What if the plan is to give her a mega push and have her beat JC Jane after she takes both of those belts? Right? Isn't that who she right? She cut the promo. Am I confusing?
So here's how it's gone down so far. So 2 weeks ago, we got Blake Monroe signing her contract at NXT, and she ended up through a table thanks to JC, Fallon, Jasmine, all of Fatal Influence. So that was 2 weeks ago. Then this past Tuesday, Jordan is going to be facing JC at Evolution. Fatal Influence tries and beats down on Jordan, 3-on-1 situation. Blake Monroe comes in for the save. So I don't know how we're going to get there, but we are getting this tag team match for Great American Bash, JC and Fallon versus Jordan and Blake Monroe. So then the following day, JC has Jordan. That might change if they want to make it a triple threat. I don't know. Again, this goes into we are telling too many stories and booking too many things that kind of make the connecting of the dots crazy. So...
Well, when I heard it, I was like, oh, well, then Jordan's gonna win everything, and then she's gonna have both women's belts. But I wouldn't be mad if then the Fatal Influence gets involved, and then JC wins, and then JC loses to Masha.
Wouldn't it be great though if Blake Monroe turned on Jordy Race because she's such a better heel and leads that whole group,
which is true. It's true.
I was thinking if Trick had the TNA Men's Championship, then wouldn't it be good if Masha had the women's belt? So at least it's a little bit of a trade-off. But it feels like a lot of steps to get there.
Well, there for the TNA's championship, that also kind of throws things into the wrench because I see it as the Knockouts championship match will probably happen before the men's one at Slammiversary. So I think whatever happens, that one is going to indicate what happens in the men's one. Because I'm thinking if Trick has the TNA men's championship, then as a fair trade-off in a perfect world, you would have Macho hold on to the NXT championship for a little bit. However, because that Slammiversary match is now a triple threat, Slammiversary, there's a lot of hopes and prayers and duct tape for that one because there are so many things I feel like if TNA wants to have a good rest of the 2025, I feel like certain things need to happen. Bias here, but I want to see Masha hold to both titles to walk into NXT, fight the NXT women. Her versus Zarya would go off. I'm not even going live. Like her versus Zarya, her versus Soul. Masha getting the chance to wrestle a bunch. Her versus Lash would be amazing too.
New Jersey native Masha.
That's why she's also our GCW champion, 598-day champion. Let's go. But there's that, and I love Joe Hendry. We all love Joe Hendry. But we say this. We've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. I feel that based on his trajectory, I feel like Mike Santana should be the one to take the title from Trick and bring it back. I think Mike is hot right now. And I think having him as champion for the remainder of the year, him and Joe can go back and forth with it would be fun. Also, Leon Slater needs to win. I was like, stop teasing this kid with the X Division Championship. Let this 19-year-old win finally.
But he's also at a UK show that next weekend at North.
Yeah.
So it's another, because again, I watch all the UK YouTube people, and they're like, oh, another thing that's also happening next weekend that he's going to be at. And they're all rooting for Leon. He's so good.
Leon's fantastic.
No, fair. Mikey, before we let you go, what is your last shot?
So my last shot is that week and a half of wrestling is going to be a lot of fun. It's too much wrestling, but at the same time, regardless if you watch exclusively WWE, if you're exclusively AEW, or if you watch a plethora of a whole bunch of stuff, just remember, enjoy yourself, enjoy your time with the people that you want to put the energy into. And in the words of Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, like what you like and don't be a turd.
Well put. Ladies
Love
and
it.
gentlemen, Mikey.
Boys, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, be iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
I love that. I just feel like what you like, promote, like, don't, all the ships, all the things. If you don't like it, don't shit on it. Just like, just.
But make sure you hit the like for us before you go. My it's so delayed.
Such a delayed reaction. I love it. But no, just again, just enjoy pro wrestling. I have it's over there. I have the whole table behind us that's all my wrestling stuff, and it's just enjoy pro wrestling. Just enjoy it. It's gonna be a crazy couple weeks or 2 weeks next weekend, but just enjoy it. It's a lot, but I agree with Mikey, I love you.
Enjoy your celebration of Independence Day.
And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Bill fucking Pullman as our president, please, sir.
He can run. And that second movie.
I was like, he can. Not to get political. He can run it better.
But yeah, so it's a fun one, but I can't let us get taken out. I know Bill does a great job. That was a great speech.
Bill Pullman forever.
But as per routine, our not so CCO has to take us out.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. You know, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
And we'll do that tonight. So we will see you. We're back here next Friday at our normal time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Hope to catch you then. We will be previewing Saturday night's main event. All the 7 PLEs that Mikey were talking about.
Everything.
And Evolution.
Everything WWE would be on Friday. We're going to do AEW on Saturday.
Exactly. And you never know who shows up at the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour on Fridays. So get your cocktails ready, get your popcorn or snacks ready. You just never know. But till next time, you do not have to go home.
But you can stay here. Go eat some hot dogs. Bye.